everyone. Welcome back to Project Independence and You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. I'm Rebecca Miller along with Kristina Liu and Dan Cox. And now we're in the Talk of the Town segment of Project Independence and You. But of course, we always like to talk about our guest. And just as always, Kristina, a wonderful, wonderful guest, a lot of great information. And as always, I think this is the nugget. Now you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. The walker being a piece of exercise equipment.
That is going in my golden nugget book. And I just, for anyone listening to this or watching this, I should say, on North Hempstead TV, and you wonder what we're talking about because they don't always air, corresponding. We are talking about our segment with Dr. Jamie Nieto, he's the Chief of Neurological Spine Development over at Northwell Health. And our topic with him was all about back pain and how to strengthen your muscles and ways to exercise. It was a great, great segment. And what Beck is referring to, which was my personal favorite golden nugget, it was like that light bulb moment, is when he said to utilize the walker as an exercise tool, which makes such sense that I've literally never thought of ever. You
heard it here first, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, because I was thinking about that, and I had brought it up on air with my parents, when they both have had different issues and they needed to come home with like a walker. And, as soon as it was done, it was like, oh, that's it. Put that right in the garage, like never to be seen again, And I'm thinking, it's really something. And I like that spin back that you said. It's like, it's reframing like the look of what a walker is, because everyone sees a walker and like, oh God, that must mean you can't walk or something.
Right.
But to use this, I mean, even for someone who's mobile, like you think about that stability, for a younger person, even to try it on, it's just a great tool. Right. And that, what I think Dr. Nieto gave us a lot of really good tips and tricks for things to do around the house. Like obviously it's great if you are a gym person and want to go to the gym, but obviously a lot of our seniors, that's not necessarily the easiest thing to do. And it can be overwhelming. And I like, of repurposing things around the house. We've heard it before too, but it's just a great reminder, with the cans, to lift that. And to, even if you are in a sitting position, like, you still are able to, as I'm sitting here, I'm like trying to move around.
Right.
Because it's just, you are able to do these little things. And I love, the idea of just going outside and doing a couple little steps, whether it's 15 minutes here or whatever you're able to do, and to not be afraid, to not, because I know my own self, I know people I've talked to that are just like, well, I can't do it, so I'm not doing it. Like, that's it. I throw the towel. It's too hard for me. I don't want to do it. And it's like, you can do these little baby steps, and soon enough, these little baby steps, you all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, look at me now. I'm walking around the whole block, without issues. So I just think it was a really great segment. And obviously, what I liked about it most is like the positive spin that it is never too late to start doing these things, because I think that that's the common misconception. Like, well, I already, messed up my back. So that's it for me. And I'm just going to live in this pain, and you don't have to, so it's just a really great segment, and a shout out to Northwell Health, who's such a great partner of ours, providing such wonderful guests. So
always there, and they're, our silver partner for Project Fun Day Monday, and, for like, I don't even know how many years in a row. But, they really do have great guests, and they're such a great partner.
Such wonderful information.
With the town and Project Independence. And
absolutely.
We're grateful to have them as our silver sponsor at Fun Day Monday.
And in that, Beck, I must, because this week was the first Fun Day Monday. So I need to hear the scoop. How did everything go? Give us
it's always nerve-wracking on this Sunday. We start watching the Monday weather, 2 days before. And I don't know about you, but every time I look at my weather app, it could have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday could all be rain. And then 10 minutes later, Wednesday's rain. And 30 minutes later, the month is, it changes so much.
And I feel like more so recently, it's like, it's just, we're in this weird, like, influx of bizarre weather situations.
Right.
You really don't know what to expect. And I can only imagine the extra added pressure that it adds to pulling off these gigantic, amazing events.
I remember when I was younger, my mother had really good friends over at WLIR, and she used to get me in there, and oh, I was just, enamored with the whole place.
Yeah.
And I have everyone's autograph, Michael, from back in the day. But anyway, I was like, he's like, we were in the studio because I just have to do the weather, and he like opens up the curtain, and he goes, "There's not a cloud in the sky today. Temperature is nice and warm." And that's how they did it back then. It's like look out the window.
No, that might be more accurate than like planning.
Right. So that was fun, but yeah. It was touch and go because, even the day before it looked like it was going to rain all day. And then, so, 5 a.m, the text goes around, we're on, we get there. And I have to say, it was probably the best first kickoff day of Fun Day Monday. Good. Everything worked out really well. We changed some things up. We added a second line dancing class. Mm-hmm. We added stuff that people could come an hour before we actually start, so they could do, because we have a lot of people who don't take the bus and they'll drive there and get their spot, and so we had 2 incredibly successful line dancing classes back to back, 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. We had pickleball instruction from 9 to 11. We had Tai Chi at 11. We had Standing Edie come from 11 till 2. A lot of dancing going on, and a lot of just good to see everybody from the year before. It was busy. I mean, community services staff works really hard, and prepping for it's like prepping for a huge wedding every week. Absolutely. Could be up to 1,000 guests, and you never truly know. So it's a lot of work. A lot of communication goes into it. Parks department helps. The guys help set up. I mean, it's a fully town, everyone kind of pitches in. And I think it was very successful. And it was great. It was really a good day. It's long. It's hard on, it's hard on the staff because you're there from 7 a.m.
Very hot days.
It was quite warm.
Yeah. But awesome. I'm so glad to hear. And I'm not surprised because that's what I heard yesterday, that it was really a beautiful, wonderful event. So just kudos to everyone who makes these things possible. And as Beck had mentioned, it's every single week. So next week, it'll be on July 17th. There'll be Vincent Rhodes Productions will be performing. And once again, Fun Day Monday, in case you do not know, is over at North Hempstead Beach Park, and that's in Port Washington. So, and I believe there's also a farm stand that's available. Is that every week?
I think the farm stand's supposed to be there every week, though it's really up to the farm stand. But I think we're good. I know that he wasn't there the first one. I think he wasn't feeling well. But he's got great produce, really great stuff.
Yeah, so that's
mostly vegetables. Yeah. It's really really good stuff. And of course, if there is inclement weather, we do call it very early, and then we'll have it on that Thursday. Right. And if that Thursday, which happened a couple of times last year, it was more the heat than the rain. You had to call it. Unfortunately, we can't reschedule that week if we go through Monday and Thursday. So, but we're hoping not to.
You started off with a bang, and hopefully it continues throughout. And we'll be promoting, obviously, each thing that comes up. And as Beck had mentioned earlier, a big shout out to Northwell Health, who is sponsoring the health fair, which everyone needs to mark their calendars for. It is July 24th. I'm sure there's going to be tons and tons of different organizations there, and it's a great place to get information. And there's different screens. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on top of all the other stuff that goes on in Fun
And it's not just the health fair, it's all the Fun Day Monday. Like, they're the whole Fun Day Monday sponsor, silver sponsor.
Great. So that's awesome. So shout out to everyone that participates in that. Beck had also mentioned about transportation. There's a lot of bus pickups available throughout the town. So you can just call 311 or 516-869-6311 to find out that, because there's stops all over the place. So definitely check that out.
One thing that did happen I want to mention is if you're getting a ride there and want to take a bus back, you do have to let us know, because some of the buses were really full. So, just let us know. A lot of people can get dropped off by someone in the morning, and then they'll want to take the bus back. So just because the bus is going to a common stop, we just want to know so that we have enough room for them on the bus.
Great. Well, that's a great little tip. That's Beck's little golden nugget of the day.
There we go.
I just want to remind people that next week we have a repeated show. We're on a bit of a summer schedule right now. But the following week on July 28th, we're going to have on Lisa Stern, who is the Assistant Vice President of Senior and Adult Services over at the Family and Children's Association, and Gian Cacciatore, who is the Senior Mental Health Training Program Director. She's going to do a little bit about the elder abuse situation that they do over there. But it's all about Family and Children's Association programs. They have a thing called the Smart Van, which I'm so excited to learn about because it's all about technology and teaching seniors that. So I'm very intrigued by the Smart Van. And of course, we're going to talk about some of their mental health programs that are available there too. So that's July 28th. And then August 4th, we're going to have on a senior nurse practitioner from Northwell Health who's going to come on talking about arthritis treatment and what everyone should know. So I'm sure that also will be kind of like a little, I like the little series part of our medical series that we're doing over here.
Yeah.
And then we have some repeated shows coming up. And August 25th, we're going to have on the fabulous Kai from Cornell Cooperative Extension, who is going to talk about better beverage choices and the importance of hydration. So I think that we'll be taking a lot of notes back for that. So
it's a biggie. That's a biggie, the hydration.
It is. And it's just,
biggie.
choosing, and I think we're also in a time where there's just so much, we're inundated with so much products and everything looks like, the packaging, and there'll be all these claims about, what this beverage has. And then when you actually read it, you see, all right, maybe that's not the best thing for me. So I think it's great.
And some drinks like coffees and teas, black tea, some of the coffees are dehydrating. So even though you're drinking a liquid, it kind of like, if you need to drink one glass of water a day, you need to drink like 8 or 9 or 10. You have to now drink another one because that one glass.
Exactly, to balance it out, though.
Right. Don't think just because you're drinking soda and, and coffee that it's really, it's not hydrating. So
absolutely. So we have a lot of great topics coming up. And of course, in September, we'll be back with a lot more. But I also want to remind people, if you ever miss any of our shows, you can check us out on our Project Independence Radio website link or the WCWP YouTube page. You can watch us on North Hempstead TV. And of course, you can always listen live on Fridays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on WCWP.org or 88.1 FM or the app. I mean, you cannot avoid us. We are certainly, there's so many ways to listen to us. And it's really great information. So I encourage people. And if you have a topic that you really want to have a guest about, please call 311 and I will be happy to do some searching. So
Kristina, one thing I have to share with you at Fun Day Monday, it was so amazing. So many people came up to me and said, Rebecca, oh, I love your show. It's so great. And, where's Kristina? I'm like, well, we don't travel together when we're not on the radio show.
I like that though. But maybe that can be a thing. We'll just be like a traveling road show.
Where is but it was amazing. Like, most people love, the radio show. And there were a few people that said, you're my yoga instructor.
Yeah.
So that
I think, and that's the beauty of North Hempstead TV, because I really think that it opened up a lot of people to, the exercise program, the radio program, because my favorite is when I'll go into the bathroom at our building and all of a sudden there'll be a senior, it's like, I saw you, on TV. And it's just, it was like this, and I was like, thanks, I'm just here, And my friend's mom the other weekend lives in the town, and she was like, I was sitting there and I flipped the channel and I said to my son, oh my God, it's Kristina, and it was just like, you were great. It was such a great show. So it's really lovely to get that feedback. And I thank everyone for letting us know, because we put a lot of work into it. And
it's an important show to them. It's something that they look forward to. They love the guests. They love the rapport. They also love Otto's perspective on things. And, but it's good to know. It's good that they recognize that. Felt really good. But even better is that they really love the show and what, 88.1 FM is giving to them, and with these wonderful guests and how regular it's aired, and they look forward to it. And then one of them is, you weren't on last week, and what happened? And I'm like, I don't know.
I know,
Like
I like to talk about, we're on a summer schedule, so don't worry.
right.
In the fall we'll have more of a back to our stable kind of programming, but great to hear. And I just encourage everyone to, partake in all these things and reach out to us. We love to hear from you. I also just want to let people know that we have a lot of programs still going on. Obviously, some take a little break over the summer, but our social workers and nurses are still working hard at a lot of different programming. So the Coping with Loss support group actually is still continuing. They were going to wrap it up, but the group still wants to meet. So that kicked off on July 5th, and that's facilitated by Krista, who's one of our social workers over at the Hillside Library. So it's a really wonderful group. If you feel like it'll be beneficial to you, I encourage you to please join. Krista is fabulous. The group is wonderful. So just call 311 to register for that program. We have our social discussion group is still meeting in July, and that's virtual. So that's on Thursdays in July, and it's facilitated by Andrea Taylor, who's another one of our social workers. The social discussion group is just for anyone that's 16 over that, wants to talk about they talk about current event things or just life things. And that, once again, is a virtual group. So if you're interested in that, please check that out as well. Our men's community group is meeting this Friday. So that's on Fridays in July, and you can go to the Hillside Library, and that's at 10:30 a.m. So that's for men 16 over. And I know I've said it before, but I will say it again. It's quite a vibrant group. And I encourage, if you are a man in North Hempstead, to check it out, because they are such an impressive group. Mind you, there's also a virtual option as well. So they all are very diverse men, all with a lot of opinions, but everyone has time to talk and gives each other respect, which is absolutely lovely. So call 311 to register for that group.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back with Talk of the Town and hear more stuff, because it is just, the packets are just getting bigger and bigger of what's going on with Project Independence and also throughout the town of North Hempstead. You're listening to Project Independence and You on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. We will be right back.
So I get this call from my grandma, and she's like,
"What's a podcast, and how much does it cost?"
So I tell her, podcasts are like radio shows, but you can download them on any device and listen to them anywhere at any time, and they're free. And then she says,
"I see, but where can you find good ones?"
And I'm like, go to wcwp.org/podcast and check out the lineup of original shows, or download any podcast app on your phone or tablet and search for LIU Studios. And she's all like,
"Oh, that sounds easy."
And then she asked me what an app is.
LIU Studios podcasts, available on any podcast app. You know, those little button things on your phone screen. Just ask your grandkids.
And welcome back to Project Independence and You Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. Of course, we're in our Talk of the Town segment, where we just talk everything that's going on with Project Independence and also throughout the town. It's also known as the Kristina Lou Hour. So, Kristina, you just have all the information. What's going on?
I know, it's just, there's
what
just
is
so much.
happening.
It just makes me laugh every time I'm over here, because as you mentioned, the packets keep getting bigger and bigger, and there's just more and more papers all over my table at the moment.
You're gonna have to talk really quick now. It's gonna be
yes,
and then on Tuesday, you're gonna have
yes, we'll up the speed. But also, we're talking about wellness all the time. We love talking about wellness stuff on this show. And I have to say, the Town North Hempstead really takes a proactive approach to promoting wellness. They're having these Wellness Wednesday programs, and the next one is going to be on July 19th. And that's a Saving Lives training, and it's all about learning CPR, stopping the bleed, and that's going to be at Whitney Pond Park pool deck from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. So I think it's really important to know these things, obviously, and just in your daily life, you never know if, God forbid, you're going to be in a situation, whether it's with your family or you're out somewhere. It's really important to know these things. And especially if you're taking care of your grandkids, I mean, it's really beneficial things to have. Then the next one is going to be on July 26th, which is healthy eating for the family. That's at the Yes We Can Community Center from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. On August 2nd is meditation on the beach. That's over at North Hempstead Beach Park at 10 a.m. On August 9th is a skin cancer screening, and that's going to be at Manor Haven Beach Park at 11, which I think is just so really cool that they're doing that. I'm really intrigued. I want to see how that actually goes down. On August 16th is every stage of life cancer screenings. This is just an informational session as well, and that's at Clinton G. Martin Park, and that's 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. So these Wellness Wednesday programs are really, really great. You can register by calling 311. If you have the flyer, you see a flyer, there's actually a little QR code on it, and you can scan that and register as well. So certainly check that out, because I think that's a really diverse, great thing. Also, if you were on our email news distribution list, you would have gotten an email sent out from me about a program that we're doing, which we're really excited for. The registration is now live and available. It's the Citizen Preparedness Corps. It's a partnership we're doing with New York State, and we did it many, many years ago, and it was a success. But this is, with severe weather events becoming more frequent, as we had discussed back, prior, we don't know ever what the weather is going to be on a given day, and more extreme, certainly. It is more important than ever that New Yorkers are prepared for disasters. The New York Citizen Preparedness Training Program teaches residents to have the tools and resources to prepare for any type of disaster, respond accordingly, and recover as quickly to possible pre-disaster conditions. We always say being prepared is the best thing.
It's just about planning.
It is. At the end of the day, that's exactly what is certainly so important. And this training course, it's going to give you an introduction, how to respond to natural also and man-made disasters. Participants will be advised on how to properly prepare, including developing a family emergency plan, stocking up on supplies, and each family, so it's one per family, if you come with your family, that attends, you're going to receive a preparedness kit. I still have mine from the first time I took this class. It's a great backpack filled with all kinds of wonderful emergency supplies. So please, space is limited for this. You must register if you want to participate. It's Wednesday, September 6th at 9 a.m. at Clinton G. Martin Park in New Hyde Park. And as I said, you must register. And registration is through their website. So I'll let you know what it is. But if you're having trouble or you don't have access to a computer, call 311. I will be more than happy to register you for it. But if you have access to a computer, go to www.prepare.ny.gov. Then you'll see the date, September 6th, and you'll be able to register. The program itself is about 2 hours. And that includes, question and answers, obviously, but it's really, really important to get yourself prepared. And it's just, I learned so much the first time I went, and I was really happy to come home and show my husband my special little backpack I had. He thinks he's the preparer in the family, but then I came home with the fancy backpack. So.
And it's really good stuff in there. I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at what they're giving you. So, it's a great program to register for, and I encourage everybody.
And I also want to let people know the flyers are available in multiple languages. They're going to have a Spanish interpreter there, and if there's enough, when you fill out the form and when you register, it asks if you have some other type of language, because they usually are able to bring another interpreter in if they have at least 2 weeks notice. So we're really just trying to spread the word to
That's wonderful.
most people as possible. So if you have any questions, call 311 or 516-869-6311 for any of that information. Also, speaking of preparedness and keeping yourself, safe, is the AARP driving courses that we the town is partnered with. The next one is going to be September 9th. That's at Clinton G. Martin Park from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. There's going to be a little 30-minute lunch break. The cost is $25 for AARP members and $30 for non-members. You're obviously going to write the check out to AARP, but call 311 and you can get all the information for that, because I always encourage people, too. Because I also feel, speaking of weather, I feel like the heat makes people a little aggravated, a little crazy on the road. That I've been certainly noticing in recent days. So it's really important to not only get points off your license or lower your insurance. You learn a lot from these classes, and it's always a good refresher. No matter how many times I take it, I always walk away with something saying like, oh, it was a good little thing to kind of remember. So once again, that is Saturday, September 9th, at 9 a.m. Excuse me, at 9 a.m. So
And they still have plenty availability?
I believe so. If you call through, and if for some reason that is full, thank you, Beck, for mentioning that. There's also one in October, so that's
Okay.
October 14th. There's going to be one November 18th and December 16th. So once a month, it'll be available. If for some reason the spots are all taken up for that one, but certainly call 311 for that as well. So. And that's just the kind of the rule of thumb. Obviously, you hear us say this number all the time, but anything that we are talking about today, or anything in general that you might be confused about, not sure who to call or where to call, you can certainly give us a call at 311 or 516-869-6311. Just to we will get you to the right place. That's all you need to know is remember that phone number. July is also Parks and Recreation Month, Beck. I do not know if you were aware of that, but I forgot that, and then I saw the flyer and I said, oh my God, it is Parks and Recs Month. So the town is doing a whole bunch of different programs to honor all the beautiful parks. And we certainly, in the first hour of today's show with Dr. Nieto, we talked about getting outside and how fortunate we are in North Hempstead to have so many parks. I mean, we have, of course, the large parks, but there's a lot of in your own town, little tiny parks that might be even quieter and, not as crowded. So I really encourage people to check that out. I forgot the number and I wish I had it. But there's some crazy number of parks in North Hempstead. I remember that came up once on the show, and it was ones that we didn't even necessarily know of. So please take advantage of that. And you could call through and want to get like a full booklet of all the parks in your area. But there's going to be a whole bunch of different things coming up. And the most recent one, let's see, will be on, so Wednesday, I mentioned the Wellness Wednesday programs. And then there is home composting on today, Friday, July 14th. That's going to be over at Clark Gardens at 10 o'clock. There's Shakespeare in the Park, which is tonight, Jerry Pond. If you're listening to this live, July 14th, Jerry Pond Park at 6 p.m. Bring your own lawn chair or blanket. And
I was going to say, Kristina, you're really confusing me here, but you're right.
I know. I'm training my brain. You like that because we are pre-recording, but I'm just making sure I don't give you any dates that, you'll certainly not be able to attend. Saturday, July 29th, over at Mary Jane Davies Green at 6 p.m. is another Shakespeare in the Park, Merry Wives of Windsor. On Saturday, July 15th, our Port Friends cleanup, which I think is so cool to do. This is going to be at the Nature Trail at North Hempstead Beach Park. And you're going to meet at the main Newbeggar Cove entrance at 9 a.m. So that's like a little beach cleanup, which I always think is such a nice thing to do to preserve, the beaches and parks. It's also Saturday, July 15th, the Nassau Pops Symphony Orchestra is going to be at North Hempstead Beach Park at 7:30 p.m. On Sunday, July 16th is stand-up paddleboarding at Manor Haven Beach Park. So anyone that's interested in that, there's a fee for that. So please call 311 for those details. And for anyone that's like, paddleboarding is a very fun little activity, and I encourage people, if your mobility allows you to certainly to take part in that.
I've done it a few times. It's great.
Oh,
you do yoga. We did yoga
yeah.
on it.
Oh, cool. I've seen that before.
Yep.
It's really, really fun thing to do.
It is challenging. Great for
balance.
Really great for balance.
It's something that you have to, you look, you're like, oh, this doesn't look that hard,
Right.
Like, oh, it does. And then you get on, you're like, whoa, hold on. So definitely check that out. I had mentioned about the Wellness Wednesdays. On Friday, July 21st, which I think is really nice, there's going to be a photo exhibit at Clark Gardens, and it's called A Different View. This is by Kevin Lynn, so it's all of his different photography that is there. That's going to be up for about 3 weeks. You can check that out. On July 22nd, our Dog Days of Summer at Michael J. Tully Dog Park. You can bring your pup to the park, and there's giveaways, sprinklers, and fun, which sounds adorable. Because as being a new mommy to a dog, now I appreciate these like little things.
We have to hear all about it, Kristina. We got to talk about it.
Well, I'm tired. I didn't really know, but after this, I will certainly get into that. And once again, if you miss any of those kind of celebrating the parks and recreations for Park Recreation Month in July, call 311 or 516-869-6311. There's also a bunch of other events going on at there's the Beat-a-Likes, which will also be at Fun Day Monday. They on Tuesday, July 18th, will be at Clinton G. Martin Park. The Grateful Dead tribute band Half Step. Beck, I know you're quite familiar with Half Step.
And the Beat-a-Likes.
And the Beat-a-Likes, right. And that will be on Thursday, July 20th at 7 p.m. at Manor Haven Beach Park. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming up. We will keep promoting them, of course. And you can watch Wednesday movies in the park. So Wednesday, July 19th at 8:45 p.m. is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And that's part of the Shrek series. He's the adorable little cat, which is a great family fun movie. So there's so much going on. I always say you cannot be bored in North Hempstead. So definitely check that out.
Totally true. So tell us about the dog.
Okay, so the doggo, Easy, is we just got a Boston Terrier, my husband and I, we got him, it's been 2 weeks now we've had him. He is it's quite a responsibility. It's my first dog ever owning. So it's a lot. He is sleeping very peacefully in the other room, thank God, because I told him he could not disturb my radio show or we were gonna have issues, and he listened very well.
Very good.
It's been a lot, it's training like a little person. It's crazy. It's just like I didn't realize the amount, and we're really trying to get him trained on and bless my husband who, was really wanted him, so of course, and really bless me for giving in to him. But
yeah.
But I do love him. He's bringing a lot of joy to the family. It's a lot of work and effort.
Little puppy.
But my favorite part of the day is when we just watch TV and he lies on me. So that's my favorite part. I don't do too well with the, puppy nipping just yet, but it's really a joy. And it's been and the amount of attention he has received over the holiday weekend, it was like everyone coming to see the king and shower him with gifts. And,
you must be exhausted.
Well, that's the best, is that he at the end of the day, he's just knocked out because he just gets way too much attention from people coming by. So it's a nice little addition to our family.
Aw, how big is he going to get?
He's not big, thank God. Well, this is what my husband tells me, and hopefully he's not lying to me. So, he'll be like a medium size, not like anything crazy. Right now, he is like the tiniest cutest little tiny thing ever. And I like to, put him in he can't walk on the ground yet because he's not fully vaxxed yet. So we have to find creative ways because he loves the outdoors, which works out very well because my husband and I like to be outside. So we have a little puppy sling that we put him in. I said it's very cute. It's a very cute little, and just seeing my husband walk around with this puppy sling with this little puppy coming out is adorable. So yes, I'm sure Easy, we will have a lot of adventures with him. He's already had quite the 2 weeks with the Lou family over here. He's been to a bunch of parties already. He's really he went to his first baby sprinkle. I had to
dive right in. I have no idea what that is, but
it was a baby. It's for the second baby. My cousin is pregnant. I'm the godmother of her, soon to be child. So we threw her a baby sprinkle shower at my brother's house. So that was quite the task as well. But Easy came and he was my baby and he was just, loving the whole vibe. He just ran, he did at one point, he just fell asleep on Jay and that was it. So it's, I will send a picture to Dan so he could put up my baby and show him. So yes, this is, I don't know. I never thought I was going to be a dog mom and here I am, dog mom. So
You are.
what am I
Yeah,
gonna do?
no turning back.
I just have to embrace it at this point.
Wait, how old is Easy?
He's 3 months. He
3
just
months.
turned 3
Okay.
months. Yeah, he literally just like a couple of days ago turned 3 months. So
Okay.
yeah,
Very nice.
yes, we shall see, Beck. So here I am, the sleepless nights with the pup. But it's really fun. So I will send Dan a picture so he can certainly put this up on the video for everyone to see my babe.
Can't wait. I mean, I've seen a lot of pictures already, but
Yeah. He's
be
very
great
into
to
the
put one
cat.
up here. But we actually have to take a quick break. You're listening to Project Independence and You. Of course, we're in the Talk of the Town segment, and we will be back for our last segment in just a few moments. You're listening to Project Independence and You on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. We'll be right back.
WCWP is your home for great music and great conversation. You'll find all that and more on WCWP.org. Listen live on the web, check out the lineup, subscribe to podcasts, and stay up to date on the latest station events. Get in touch with us and let us know if you like what you're hearing. And find out how you can support or get involved at the only community public radio station serving Nassau's North Shore. Plus, sign up to get a free bumper sticker. It's all online at WCWP.org.
And welcome back to Project Independence and You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. I'm Rebecca Miller, along with Kristina Liu and Dan Cox. We are in our final segment of the show, Talk of the Town, and just really there's so much going on. It's just unbelievable between Project Independence and the town in general. Especially in the summer, you always think like, oh, things are going to slow down, but no,
I know.
they don't. They
It's so
just
true.
don't. They
It's
just
very
don't
true.
slow down.
And I definitely want to remind people that there are so many different pools available within North Hempstead too. I know
Right.
we've been experiencing a lot of very, very hot days. So if you are, there's the Clingy Martin Park pool, which is lovely, but that's just for the specific district. There's the Manor Haven pool, there's Bunky Reed, of course there's the indoor at Tully and stuff, but there's just a whole bunch of different fee schedules as well. So please call 311 because there's a lot of discounts and I encourage people to utilize that. It's accessible to you. And certainly I think for these very, very hot days, it's really a nice thing to do. There's also, I want to find one of my favorite things that have just recently popped up. So, of course, there's a lot of grandparents out there. If they are anything like my grandparents when I was a little girl, my parents both worked and my grandparents, I spent summers with them watching me. Of course, I was a fabulous little angel, so that didn't take too much to entertain me. But I did love, I have such fond memories of being a little girl with my grandma and doing a little craft. You might guess, I know I like to craft or two now and again. So it certainly started when I was little. And I love that North Hempstead is doing this free program that's upcycled kid crafts program. The Town of North Hempstead supervisor Jennifer DeSena and council member Marian Del Monte are hosting this upcycled kids craft program with cast signs of Port Washington for children ages 3 to 10. And it's for this summer. There's a bunch of different dates. The upcycling crafts, it's reclaiming old materials and turning them into something new to give them some new life, which I think is so fun and cool.
Awesome. Can't wait to see the end result of all that
and there's
stuff.
so many fun things, and those are some of my absolute favorite kinds of crafts because it's just amazing what people can make. I remember a couple of years back, like at the North Hempstead Yes We Can Community Center, there was like a bunch, and someone had made this really cool thing out of like bottle caps. I think it was like a skirt out of bottle. It was something so cool out of like bottle caps, and I remember just being blown away by it.
I think it was the fashion show.
Right? That's what it was, right?
Yeah.
I thought so. And I just remember it was so pretty. So this program is really great and it just helps you explore and be creative and not, to actually just reuse and recycle things. It's a great message for these young kids to learn about. So the next one is going to be Wednesday, July 19th, and this is a tin can bird feeder. After that is August 9th on Wednesday, and it's Build with Wood program, and they are at 10 a.m. at Blumfeld Park on Main Street in Port Washington. Classes are free, but you must register. So I think this is a really great thing to do. Obviously, I said if you are taking care of your grandkid, and just to spread the word about, because it just sounds like a fun little summer craft for them to do. So definitely check that out. Also, we just got a memo not that long ago that kicking off on Monday, July 17th, the Town of North Hempstead Housing Authority will be accepting applications for the Rental Assistance Demonstration Program, RAD, which is formerly known as the Senior Housing for individuals over 62 years of age and or disabled adults, as determined by Social Security Administration. So between Monday, July 17th and Friday, August 4th, you can apply for North Hempstead housing. Priority will be given to applicants who live in the town of North Hempstead, veterans, and locally displaced individuals. And as I mentioned, these applications are available online 24 hours per day, starting July 17th at 9 a.m. So there's a link to that. Obviously, if you need help, call 311. And they could certainly lead you into that. So I just think it's an important little thing. If it's something that you know you're in need of, or you know someone else might be in need of, to really get that application going, because there are a lot of waiting lists and so on for that. So definitely check that out if you know, and spread the word on all of that as well. We also got an alert from, we're big on talking about scam awareness here. A couple of weeks back, we had a great segment on that as well. And this is just to remind people that Nassau County residents, there were some scams going on where they were targeting individuals by pretending to be helpful, or if some kind of assistance they were providing. They were actually stealing pocketbooks, credit cards, and money withdrawn from banks. My husband just, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, and this is why it's so important to really monitor your credit cards, certainly your bank's statements and stuff, because my husband actually has like an alert thing set on his Discover card. And he got notified that, someone had tried charging something, and it was just a small amount. It wasn't anything astronomical, but being alerted to that, he was able to stop it. Of course, we had to go through the whole thing of getting a new card and whatnot. But it's really important to monitor that as well. And just some of these distraction scams are what they're called, are bank withdrawals. Individuals will flatten victims' vehicle tires, removing unattended money envelopes from the unlocked vehicle while the victim tends to the tire. So it's all like to keep you not like paying attention.
Right.
Dropped money.
Diversion.
Right. Individuals will approach victims and claim victim dropped money on the ground, and then will remove credit cards from the pocketbooks or wallets while in close proximity. Loading groceries. This to me is a huge one, because I know myself, I really try and be conscious of this. Individuals will remove unattended pocketbooks from unlocked vehicles while victims are loading groceries into trunks. How many times, Rebecca, have you been guilty of, you have your bag in the shopping cart, you turn your head, you grab something, and especially when you're loading, and there's so many videos now, I always that come up on, social media, and I see about like how important it is to really just kind of keep your back to your vehicle and just paying attention to, all your surroundings, while holding your pocketbook. Because there's a lot of times too that I used to just throw it in my front seat, or I shut the door, and now I'm,
never do that anymore. Yeah.
And it's something that I will never do again, and it's just, it's really just being aware. Obviously we always say we don't want people terrified.
Right.
But it's important to really, to take these proactive steps. And that loading groceries one is just a huge one to me, because it is something you really need to think about, because it is kind of awkward and can, when you're trying to grab my bag, what do I do? So I always just take my bag and keep it, in front of me at all times, or on me. I'm a big believer also in the like flipping it to the front of you as well. Jewelry sales is another one. Individuals will sell fake gold jewelry to victims and who believe it to be real. Gas money. Individuals will claim they are in need of gas or travel money. Unfortunately, I'm seeing this a lot in parking lots. I'm seeing people come up to people's car and asking for that. And of course, there's panhandling. Individuals will stand in roadways with signs asking for money. In all of these scenarios, one individual is trying to distract the victim while another one comes in to remove whatever property they're trying to. So it's really the overall message that the Nassau County Police just said is to be mindful of your surroundings, never leave your property unattended. And of course, report any instances to 911 always, because the best thing we can do is just to alert people and hopefully stop it, from happening if it's a person that is doing it, in the neighborhood or whatnot. So I really think these alerts are so important, and it's important for you as a listener of the show to spread that information to your neighbor, your family member, whoever it might be. So definitely check that out, do that. And
Yeah.
it's important. So be mindful.
Right. Exactly. Be mindful. It's such a great word,
It
Be
is.
mindful of your surroundings. If you're going to be in the store and you may go in, it's light. Remember, you could come out and it's dark. Park near a light. Always park near a light. Don't park far away from everyone. I do that just because I don't want my dings on my leased car. But sometimes I think about it and I'm like, well, if I'm alone and I'm going to be coming to my car and it's late, so I'll move it a little bit closer.
That's such a good point, Beck, because I do that as well, right? Because we have our new car, we don't want it to. So you're trying to protect your vehicle because you don't want, a lot of these parking lots, especially where we work, are very congested. So you're going to tend to park, far away. But I do think if you are going to choose that parking bar, which I've been trying to do, is to go by like a lamp post, something that's well lit, because I think the worst thing to do is to be in a dark area. And that was such a good point, Beck, because there's so much time that I'm in a place and I come out and all of a sudden it's dark out, and it's a totally different,
it's a whole different scene.
It really is. So
you could take your phone out and video, just so people see. You have all these little tricks. You have a flashlight at night. You flash it around. You have somebody on a speakerphone, and say, I'm walking toward my car.
You know what I always say too? When in doubt, hit that panic button on your remote. A lot of us have, our little key fob. It has that button. And I mean, listen,
just hit it.
There's times that I hit it because I cannot find my car,
Right,
so
exactly.
It becomes that kind of tool as well. But I also think it's just creating like an alert system too, because it is, you have to be careful and to pay attention. I know there's so many times, and I'm guilty of it too. You'll be walking through the parking lot on your cell phone and looking down and not paying attention to what's around you. So it's once again, being mindful. We use that word a lot on this show in all aspects of life. And this is certainly just another one of them, of being mindful. And so please do that as well. So we have so much stuff. Is there anything else you want to add? I have so much stuff on this table that I think I went through.
Something funny I want to add.
Oh, cool. I love it.
So during the segment, I was noticing this with both me and you. Whenever we talked a little bit about posture, both of us just, you were like that. I'm looking at you and I was like aligning my spine, and I'm like,
I'm very guilty my whole life of not having the best posture. And I'm really, and it was making me laugh because I think you had brought it up actually during our first segment, that you're more conscious of it. And I don't know if it's just because as, I get older, I'm more conscious of it, or if it's just from people talking about it more, but I'm so hyped. So I really try, because I'm always doing something. I'm always bending, I'm always lifting. And I really try to, keep it, because it feels awkward sometimes, it feels like not, it's not necessarily the most comfortable position, but I'm really trying to be conscious. And the whole time when we were doing our first segment, I literally felt my body. I was like trying to move my legs. I was trying to stiffen my core, keep my back straight.
Like, I'm doing good, right? Give me
I really, but it is so important. And I think, Beck, you actually had brought it up, is that the importance of like making it, like rewiring your brain to make it like part of your habit, because that's with all of these kind of things.
Right.
Yes, it's awkward at first. it's a hassle at first. You're adding, these different things into your, daily routine, but then it becomes part of your routine,
Right. And it doesn't
You
happen
start-
fast. Takes a
Right.
long time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of learning.
Mhm.
It's education and learning, just
Yeah.
like we learn in school or
Mhm.
whatever you're learning, it takes a while.
Mhm.
If you, even if you go to a dietitian or a nutritionist and they give you a schedule and a plan for food,
Yeah.
it takes a long time to adapt to
And
eating that
I
way.
do think that the problem is that really we're even more so in a world where everything is like rapid speed. So you're like, cool, I want this now, I want this, I want to lose 10 pounds, boom, I want to be gone by tomorrow, I want to have the best posture. I mean, listen, that'd be great. If someone can
Right.
figure that out for me, let me know. But it really are the, to make things, I mean, even with diets, right? We brought that up too during our first segment. It's everyone's always trying these different fads and things, and what works for this person might not work for you, but it's really, you need to just train your brain and incorporate a new lifestyle for yourself, like to make those habits things. It can't be these quick fixes because you're not really teaching yourself to do otherwise. I know some of my friends who lose a lot of weight and then boom, it comes back on because they actually didn't do anything, change their way of thinking. So
Right. Yeah, it's a whole,
Yeah.
it's
it's
and
work. It's
it's a
actually work.
commitment to yourself.
Yes.
It's really about taking the time to take care of yourself,
Yeah.
and one day of, having desserts and going out
Mhm.
is not going to ruin the whole time.
Yeah.
Sometimes people can weigh even 3 pounds more the next day, but you talk to any food nutritionist, dietitian, doctor, and they'll say that is like water weight.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
water weight. Most people, in order to gain that much weight, I think it's 3,500 calories is equivalent of a pound.
Mm.
That's 10,500 calories
Yeah.
you have to eat, and then I mean you just have to not be nonstop. Now, it, it's and I mean it can, you don't want that one day to
Right.
ruin the whole thing.
Right.
I don't know if we ever even talked about this on the show, but another thing that I feel is really a problem. My whole life, I don't know why, but my whole life I'm obsessed with the scale.
Mhm.
I have a friend, she goes, I never go on the scale.
I'm
that
that friend. And all jokes aside, I literally have no idea how much I weigh. I really, truly, I can't even. And when I'm trying to fill out something, I'm like, can't even ballpark it because I have no idea. I've always just been. I don't own a scale because I didn't want it to become a thing. And obviously, I try to keep myself healthy. In other ways, I'm not just
Right, of
going
course.
totally rogue. But I know that compulsive thing because I've had so many friends who that really became a fixated part and kind of a measure of the success of the situation, so
Yeah.
it can be a lot.
It is a lot because people, like, if you feel you've had a good day
Right.
and you get on the scale the next day,
Right.
maybe you're a pound up. That scale is now
Right.
telling you you're going to have a bad day.
Yeah.
You're
right.
just bad. But you have to have some acceptance. I don't know if we talked about this, was
Mhm.
the point. I remember like 15 years ago, maybe, about Oprah Winfrey was being interviewed. And of course, she's up and
Mhm.
down all the time, has always had that. But we may have to take a break. Oh, we're at the end of the show. Anyway,
You need to know what happened.
she said with all of her successes in life, everything she's done, everything she's accomplished, is one of the richest women in media, where she came from, how she grew, she said, and revered internationally. She gets on a scale, and if it says she's going to have a bad day, she will. And that was years ago. But I don't, I'm just saying it's so move away from that too.
Yeah.
And like what Kristina was saying, just
don't
go
be
with how
too
you
hard on
feel.
yourself,
Right.
Just everyone is be mindful, try your best, don't be too hard on yourself. I think we are the harshest critics of ourselves.
Give yourself a hug, everyone.
That's right. That's it.
Give
that's
yourself
that's
a
all we
hug.
can do.
You're all worth it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And practice that this weekend.
hopefully this show, is all about you finding things that are good to help you
Mhm.
better and age positively.
Absolutely.
Right?
Positive aging.
I think we're
done. It's a wrap.
I think that's it. So another great show, Kristina, of course, wonderful guest. And, we just want everybody to have a great July 14th today, which is the year 2023. And have a great, wonderful weekend all. And again, thanks, Kristina and Dan.
Thank you.
We'll see you all next week. Have a great weekend. Project Independence in You on 88.1 FM, WCWP.org.